not kids anymore.
Yeah, I
This
know.
time,
It's funny because I
you
was.
look choking them.
It's funny because I was talking to somebody about. I don't even know who I was talking to about that this morning. I was like, man, I do not miss the little days when they were really little and you had to watch them and you had to take them everywhere. Now now mine are a little bit older, 16, 11, and 12, and I can be like, just go and leave me in peace.
Leave me be.
Leave me be. Go do something. Go outside. Run around. Just don't get hit. Don't get kidnapped.
Anything. Yeah.
Yes. Otherwise.
Come back.
Yes. Just come back. Come back, and we will be good to go. All right.
It's so true.
So we're going to do this because this is going to be on the podcast as well, on my podcast, and I'll tag you. And I know you get a million tags. I'll tag you in it.
I like them.
Tag you in the podcast. All right. So the one and only Chante Moore joining us from the West Coast, from Los Angeles, bright and early her time. Yeah. I had to move heaven and earth to make this happen because it is so early out west. But I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it because I'm a big fan of yours, so I appreciate it. So let's talk about first thing I want to talk about, because we can't move past what is going on in this country right now with everything with what happened with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, everything that's going on, social justice, racial inequality. What is this? What does all this mean to you?
Well, all of it out there is a little bit disconnected in my home. However, with my son being 17 and driving, that part brings it to the forefront of the everyday life. Making sure that he pays attention to how fast he's going on the freeway and what he's doing so that he is not pulled over. And if he's pulled over, to make sure that he just presses record and complies with everything that the officer says. So that part makes it very, very present in my moment to moment. In my weekly life, in my business life, what I've decided to do is a show on Instagram and Facebook just to connect to people, because the unrest is there and I feel disconnected from the world, and because I want to see people's faces, and I can't see people while I'm doing the show, but I get to feel their connection by their texts and their, the responses to what I'm saying and doing and singing. So that's what makes me feel more connected. I've done a march, but we have to be so careful out there, especially with the COVID. It's not just the civil unrest. It's being careful so that you don't pass out in the middle of that. So I'm just trying to just pick and choose my places where I can jump in and before it's time to vote, because that's what I'm going to do, is vote.
Right. And that's a very important conversation that a lot of people are having. A lot of people that I've talked to as well are asking questions about, the conversations that we as African Americans, as Black people, have to have with our kids when they get to be a certain age about going out into the world, how to deal with police, what to do and what not to do. I'm sure you've had that. I've had that conversation with all of my children, and they're young. I'm sure you've had that conversation before now.
Yes, absolutely. I always tell them, don't forget you're Black, honey. I love you. Have fun. The fun that other kids can have. If they start acting goofy or a little more expressive than usual at a mall or anywhere, it can turn out to be a completely different outcome because our children have color on their skin. So I really do try to keep him aware of it and not in a heavy way. So I go, oh, don't forget you're Black. He goes, oh, you're just saying that because I'm Black. I'm like, and ugly. I just try to make it a joke ahead of time. Right. Now it's really serious. Like, okay, seriously, babe, your job is to come home alive. Just be careful. And no matter what happens, come back home to mama alive. That's don't try to be a hero today. Not today.
Right. All right. Let's switch gears and talk about this pandemic, because a lot of people have been at home, stuck at home. They haven't been able to run and do the other things that they normally do in a safe manner. And in California, it's a lot different because you were open. You were closed at first. Then you were open, and now it's flaring back up, and now you're kind of closed again. So what have you been doing during all of this? What's the feel in California?
It's kind of eerie. When everything was shut down, I like to go out and eat by myself, or just kind of be in a space at the park or something. It felt like it wasn't real life. Like the Twilight Zone was what it felt like to me. I find that being home is not strange for me because when I work, I'm gone and I travel. And so then I come back home and then it's, make sure I take care of myself and kind of settle. But now having the pandemic and the quarantine part, it's a little odd, but it has brought us closer together as a family. We do more things together and try to stay in each other's presence a little bit more. And then when we feel like if anybody goes outside, we're like, okay, well, you stay over there. Let's play ball. So throw me the ball over here, something else. But it's been good. It's been good because it's made us stay on our toes. It's brought us closer to the understanding that it could be the last day. And that's not a doom and gloom as much as appreciate the moment. My dad is 87 years old and he lives here with me. So, I make sure he's okay and make sure he has food every day and that he's comfortable. And if he needs anything, I go out. And so it's just clearing up just little things that maybe would have been a little bit askew. Now it's all, okay, I get it. We're supposed to take good care of each other even more.
And you're taking care of your family. You doing anything else? You doing any more extra cooking? You learned how to cook anything? I saw you on there. What were you cooking? Gumbo?
I make gumbo.
Yeah. Is that a normal thing for you to cook gumbo? Is that your thing?
It is. I love it. Crab is my favorite food. So that was the week of my dad's birthday. So I made that for everybody, my family, the 3-4 of us that came together for my dad's birthday. But yeah, I cook quite a bit. And then so I was kind of happy that the restaurants opened for the last couple weeks because I'm like, okay, I'm tired of me. I don't want my food this week. I don't want it. But, probably going to go back to that right now.
Right.
But I don't mind. He cooks sometimes, but I try to get him to relax and just chill and go take a walk or something and get out there, which he's like, I walked from the bedroom to my room, to the kitchen, and I'm done. I'm like, okay.
That's it for today. He's good to go.
That was it.
He's good to go. I also saw you doing a number of things on social media. In addition to, I see you cooking and I see you doing some fancy eating. You also did a workout and you did a thing called Sing, Talk, Love.
Repeat.
Repeat.
And then repeat. Yeah. It's happening every Sunday at 3:00. I wanted to connect with people. I am a people person. I think all entertainers right now are kind of going a little bit stir crazy, not being able to connect the way we were used to, not being able to just go and look and smile and sing in the faces of the fans. It's very odd. And you feel extra removed. And I don't care for that as much. So I decided to encourage myself as well as other people by getting on the camera every Sunday at 3:00, 6:00 Eastern, and sing whatever I feel. Some of my music, mostly my music, I guess, but I've been doing gospel music and other people's songs and from Sade and Anita Baker. It doesn't matter. Just talking about love and relationships and heartbreak and health and my regimen for my face and my skin. People always go, what are you doing? What are you for your skin? So I'm like, okay, how about I show you how to makeup removal? Okay, let's show you that. So just connecting. I call it the More Chante Show now. I started out as Ice Cream Sundays because I was eating ice cream that Sunday. But then I had to stop eating ice cream every Sunday and go, okay, work out. I think we should eat something lighter and have some fruit and a workout. How about that? Yeah.
So that, and it's a good thing. It's very, very entertaining. I also saw in the last post that you put up, you were singing a variety of songs. One of them was a gospel song. It was and you had a Bible quote that you said that you had even before the pandemic. It was Isaiah 58:11. But why did you decide to put that out there for the universe to see you talking about that particular verse? And why was that so special?
It's really who I am. Mm-hmm. I am not just a church girl. I believe in Jesus. I do. I am a believer, and I try to live my life according to those beliefs. And even more so before the pandemic, actually, which I'm really glad of, that I didn't just start trying to find Jesus in the middle of this. This would have been pretty scary. For me, knowing what I know about who God is for me, that I had to really get it, that there's more. It's more than just if you have money. It's more than just if you're alone. It's more than just if you have friends around you and if you have family. It's about who you are on the inside. It's who you are at midnight, and not with everybody calling. It's when you understand what your purpose is. And I have come to the place where I understand my purpose is to encourage people. And it's always been that, in a sense, where I sing and I hope that people feel, you're not alone when you go through heartbreak. And if you get, you break up with your man or whatever it is, please don't feel like that's just selected for you, because it happens to the best of us. So that's always been a part of it. But adding the element more of the spiritual depth of who God has become to me, even more so in my mature times. Not that I'm old, but I've definitely grown up quite a bit in the last few years, having the ups and downs of emotions and depression, even for a couple of, I guess a year, but it was a couple of years ago. But knowing that's happened to me, and I have a really good life. I really have great children. I have a great life. I'm happy to be divorced. I'm happy to be here in my own home, and I understand what it's like to feel by yourself, but not alone and not sad and depressed about that. So I just I'm trying to give my remedies to find joy in the midst of sorrow, because there are sorrows that happen, and we're not going to be happy all the time, but we can find joy in the midst of that. So that's why I share who God is to me.
Right. And real quick, you mentioned depression. Do you find that a lot of people will say, okay, you're Chante Moore. What do you have to be depressed about? Because I know this happens to a lot of people who come out and say they're dealing with depression and dealing with all these issues. And then people will come out and say, give me a break. You're rich, you're famous, you got the world. There's no reason for you to be depressed. They just don't get it. So do you find that they don't get it when you say things like that?
Yeah, because it's real. And look at the rich people who have killed themselves. Check that out. See if everybody who is rich looks happy. If they were all in joy, there wouldn't be those grimaces. There would not be the divorces over and over again. There wouldn't be a search for that hit record once again. There wouldn't be the striving to be in the middle of maybe a scene where they're showing their behind for what reason, I have no idea. There are some strange things we do as quote unquote celebrities that I think prove that there's not a lot of joy just because you have a lot of money. Doesn't mean you actually say more money, more problems.
More money, more problems.
Pay attention.
Right.
But I think that's the point, is that it's a real journey, which is why I'm sharing it, because it's not just, oh gosh, and I was depressed and now I'm great. It's not that. It's like, okay, I lost my purpose. I didn't know why I was doing what I was doing. Because without a real purpose, you're just walking around. If you're just doing something aimlessly, I'm a person of integrity, and I also have a lot of drive and commitment to who I am and excellence, and it's not just, oh, I want money or a job. I want to be seen. It's more than that. It's more than that. And it's going to get you wherever you are. That's the thing about that kind of spirit, because it's a spirit of sadness that can get you.
Right.
It's whatever gets you. Right. Could be not having a man, having $1 million, not having a man, or having a man and then not having $1 million, having no, bills pile up above your eyeballs, whatever it is. It could be my kids. Sometimes my kids worry me to the point I'm going, Jesus, what do I do? How do I fix that? And they're grown.
Join the club on that one.
Help them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much stuff.
It's
you see why I have to talk for an hour, because I'm like, and then another thing.
Oh, I completely understand, especially when it comes to the kids. I completely understand. Yeah. Real quick, talk about you got some new music you're working on. Is it out yet? I know COVID-19 has thrown everybody's schedule off. What's the deal with the music?
It's in July.
Okay.
I have a new single coming out. I'm not sure if the whole thing comes out in July or not. I think we're going to try to figure out what is the best thing now that things are closing back down again. We kind of have to readjust just a little bit. But it's a song called Hold It Down. And it really is about kind of what's happening now and holding it down for those who are in places where they can't just support themselves, where it be somebody who's in the army or armed forces and they're out there. We hold it down as the other half, or if someone is in jail and you're going, you know what, you paying your price. And then when you come home, we're going to find a job for you. We'll find a way and we'll accept you back in our lives again. There's a whole nother side of life that people don't even think about holding it down in. And as a single parent, I've had to hold it down for my children a long time. Right. And it's been great. But, that's something that specifically has to happen. Somebody has to have strength enough to do it. So that's what that song's about. And there's another song that I'm going to co-connect with that.
Okay.
Saida Garrett wrote this song for me, and it's called Put It on Faith. Okay. And I think I'm going to put that out during that time. So I think that's going to be something new and fresh that's going to happen.
All right. So that's coming in July. Some new music from Chante Moore coming in July. All right. Yeah. Looking forward to that. All right. So we're almost done. I'm going to let you go after this. After this.
I'm awake for the day. I got an entire day.
You're awake for the whole day. We could talk all day, but I'll leave you. I'll leave you with this. All right. Out of all the songs you've done, what's your? Can you pick like one of your songs that's your favorite? I know a lot of people say I can't do that because I got some of yours that are my favorite.
Well, it is a tough choice to make. It's like saying which child is your favorite. Like you have 3 daughters, you're like, my favorite child. What are you they're gonna kill me. What I love to be able to say is that I have a favorite son and a favorite daughter because I only have one of each. But what I will say is my favorite song is the one people want to hear most, which is usually Chante's Got a Man or It's All Right. So those are my favorites because of the response that I get.
Right. Is it Chante's Got a Man, the slow version or the remix?
The regular.
You don't like the remix?
The remix is good, but I'm not going to sing that.
You're not doing that one?
What was that? What you got to do with me? I got a man.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I like that. I actually like that.
I don't think people want to hear me sing that like that.
What about
they want to hear, listen to me, God. You know, that's what they want to hear.
So here we go. All right, so for real, I'm done this time. All right, so I'm going to say one of your songs, and you tell me what comes to your mind, because these are my favorite. This is my Chante Moore list of favorite songs, okay?
Okay.
All right, and you just tell me what comes to your mind, all right?
Okay.
This one, Jesus, I Love You. You performed that right here on Good Day, DC, the first time you came here.
I did.
Yeah,
that song reminds me of my struggle between loving man and doing what I want to do and loving God and doing what he wants me to do.
Okay, all right. Love Takeover, which was, that was out of the stratosphere.
Taking over. That was a long time. That reminds me of Paris and my dreams coming true.
That's where you shot the video there, right? You shot the video in Paris. Did you shoot the video in Paris?
Yeah. That was my first single. Yeah, that was the beginning of my career.
Okay, all right. Straight Up, where you were dancing in the video.
Dancing. That reminds me of Jermaine Dupri and all of the dancing that I had to learn that I hadn't really done a whole lot of as an adult anyway. I danced a lot as a kid, but that was really fun. It showed another side of who I am as an artist. All
right, we already talked about Chante's Got a Man, the remix, so I guess I'll zoom right on past that one. How about this? Now, this is going to surprise you that I actually like this song, because it's I'll just tell you what, Bitter. Remember that song, Bitter?
Oh, do I? Yeah, I sing that a lot during my shows.
I love that song because I actually think it's kind
of... Why do you love it so much?
Well, when it came out, I was going through some stuff, and I was like, this is perfect for me.
Yeah, that'll do it. So, that song was a moment. I was writing a song in the studio with Lainey Stewart and Tony Haynes. I don't know if Tony Haynes was there, but no, it wasn't. Anyway, I was with Lainey Stewart. He was writing the music, and it was so pretty. And somebody was calling me like crazy, and I was like, "Stop calling my phone." We were trying to write the song, and it was like, I was like, and we all kind of laughed, ha 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 ha, and we thought, now that would be interesting.
Oh, it is interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody was sweating you while you were in studio making that song?
Yes. They were calling my phone. I was like, oh my God, stop calling my phone. And I sang it in the melody. We were working on the song. And
was this somebody? Was this just somebody, or was this somebody for real that you were moving on from? Since this is in the past, we could talk about this.
It was somebody who, okay, let's say this.
Okay.
The person who was calling me was not who I wrote the verses about. The verses was about my ex, about Kadeem and I.
Oh.
The person who was calling my phone at that time was not Kadeem, but they were bugging me. I was just like, really? Stop calling my phone, please. So that was real. Both the sides of those were real, but it wasn't the same person in the verse. The verse was Kadeem. The other person was not.
Those lyrics were deep. That's what I got to say about that. And the last one is Real One.
Yeah. Real One was, it's about a guy who really came into my life and came in like gangbusters. We love when men get really serious about what they want. And as women, we do. We really do. We say we don't like God to take over, but we do. But a guy came into my life and he just showered me with gifts and love and attention. And he was just powerful. And so I wrote a song about it. Sure did.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I can't wait to hear the new music. I can't wait to hear the new music. All right. Well, you know what? I'll let you go on that note. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much
Thank you
really
so much for
appreciate
having me today. It's always a pleasure talking to you. I can't wait to see you again. I can leave the city.
I know. If we can get you out of California and get you here to DC at some point, maybe in the next year or two.
That's one of my favorite cities ever.
Yes, yes. Well, Chante, thank you. Thank you
so
a million
much.
times over. And keep doing what you're doing. I love the Instagram and the social media posts.
Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. That makes me feel very good inside.
Yes, yes. The one and only Chante Moore. Thank you,
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well.